So let's start. So I will start introducing myself. So I'm Chief Customer Officer working at Newton Technology since 6 months now, and I'm in charge of two specific markets, which are the Brazilian and the US market. And I will let Sabrina and Frédéric present themselves.
Yeah, hi, I'm Sabrina. I'm serving as Innovation Marketing Project Leader for Kima Life Sciences, and I'm located at Monastium Laboratory in Germany. So, Frédéric.
Hello, my name is Frédéric Dubor, and I'm Head of Business Development, mainly for the US and South American market. Very happy to be with you today.
Thank you, Sabrina and Frédéric. So let's start. So today we will talk, I was mentioning, about clinical research in cosmetic industry, mainly. Everything that we're going to say is also true for the dermatology, because at the very end, we still talk about skin, and everything is true for both fields. So stay connected with us if you're from dermatology. So let's talk about clinical research. Today, it's true that clinical research and clinical studies for efficacy purpose are not mandatory, but that's still playing a major role, and that's becoming more and more important. First, because of customers. Customers today, they are more and more attracted, and they are following social media content, influencers, hundreds of thousands of followers for the main influencers in the skincare field. And this influencer used a lot of proofs, a lot of demo that are important for the consumers to understand what's happening with the product and to be convinced before purchasing some of the skincare products provided by the brands. It's also give to the brands big legitimacy in the scientific fieldwork. It's a way for them to prove that they invest in scientific research. It gives numbers, it gives them proofs of convictions, and it has been demonstrated by several studies also that it has a big impact on the marketing, increasing the business that is generated for the cosmetic brand, also with website conversion, and people are getting more and more convinced. And again, the scientific efforts are recognized by the peer also when they can use this clinical research and these clinical results in peer-to-peer review journals and articles that is giving them, again, this scientific legitimacy. And for the brands and the active suppliers, that's also a way for a more concrete point of view to explore and to better understand the real mechanism of action of the product they are providing to the consumers. Today, we're talking about clinical studies. We have two main scenarios, and I would say that the first one is the most often used, which is the face-to-face clinical grading. So we have a dermatologist or an expert graders that is receiving face-to-face in live volunteers, and that is grading some specific criteria. It could be like overall severity of spot, overall severity of wrinkles, radiance, etc. It's the approach mainly encountered. It's facing some challenges. I will mention two of them. The first one is, of course, the control of the conditions of the grading, like the lighting, the position of the volunteers. And the second one is I would say, subjectivity of the graders that makes the scoring pretty difficult to handle in a reproducible way between time points or between volunteers. So the second approach, which is helping to improve a little bit this face-to-face challenge, is to make post-capture analysis. And by post-capture analysis, we keep the principle of the graders, of the scorers, of the dermatologists that could make this scoring, but perform directly on pictures. So we control in a more better way the lighting, the position, the way of observing the phenomena by using image. And then we perform the clinical scoring. So we still have the subjectivity of the graders, but we have more controlled ways to capture the face. When you're conducting clinical research, so you spend some money and you spend some time, and the worst case scenario is at the very end, you don't obtain the significantly results you were expecting to be able to prove to your marketing or your consumers your results. So you wasted some time and you wasted some money. When we analyze the main reason and the main challenge why this could happen, and based on our 20 years experience at Kima, we identified three main reasons why and three main challenges. The first one is that You can only focus sometimes on 1, 2, 3 parameters that are assessed. And it's true that, well, if you don't obtain the result you were expecting on this 1 or 2 parameters, you don't have significant result at the very end. The second reason is that most of the company today have a sequence of testing as a sequence of developing product with early stage preclinical research that are happening mostly in vitro, ex vivo with biological models, and then moving to the in vivo clinical research. And the parameters we are tracking are pretty different. So some good decision that has been taken starting with some preclinical result sometimes do not deliver when moving to the in vivo stage. And the third challenge that is faced, and we already talked about that, is the inherent subjectivity coming from the face-to-face grading system. So we have different options to face these challenges and to try to maximize the chances to obtain some good results for a clinical testing.